work on this started about 4.5 years ago when we did test runs with Chromebooks. Well, we had a couple goals in mind when we went with the Chromebooks. Number one, we wanted all students to have the same access to our curriculum, and what we knew is that computers were playing a bigger and bigger part of creating materials and getting materials. And students that didn't have a laptop at home or computer access were being left out. Early in September, they've started identifying, families that don't have access to Wi-Fi in their home, and Sprint, as a corporation, has given us, the district, a certain number, like 300 Wi-Fi spots. Eventually, that's going to grow to 1,500, and then I think we'll be able to cover 100% of the need. Right now, I think we're just about 100%, but we're still working on it. So we're identifying families that don't have access and getting them a hotspot through this grant from Sprint. I had heard generally very positive things about the Chromebooks. The students seem to like them, but I'm not sure they like them because they can access fun sites now that they couldn't, or because they find it to be a useful tool. The jury's out on that one. I walk into classrooms and I see students doing strong academic work on them, and sometimes I see them off task looking at the ESPN site, So we're going to be monitoring it and see. We do have fewer students on their phones. We'll really hope it'll change, or it'll help students have a different tool for creating more interesting and robust academic documents.
I think overall people like them, but we still, people make fun of them a lot because of just the handle's a little dorky and stuff. But overall, we just, people make fun of them, but they really are convenient, and I think a lot of people do like them. I think they can be helpful. I definitely find myself getting distracted some during my classes, but most of the time it's a really big help to me to be able to access my documents and stuff just really easily and not have to go to a lab to do a bunch of stuff. When I open up my laptop when I get home to do my homework, I'll have all my assignments right there, and it's a lot easier than having to pull out a book during every class. Some classes I use it all the time in class. In other classes, it's you cannot have your Chromebook out in my class. And so it's very teachers who are not on board with it versus teachers who are in full swing. It's hard for students to be able to switch back and forth.
I think overall that the Chromebooks have been fantastic for learning. I found that it's a lot easier just to get materials to students, especially on the teachers' end. There's a lot of, most of our stuff was electronic already, but then to have to print it, and for teachers to have to kind of fight for the printers at times when everybody was printing, that's something that we just don't really have to deal with anymore. Which I really like. You just kind of have to go into Canvas and hit publish, and students can have access to the materials. I think I think they do like that more of what is happening in classes is occurring online, or that the Chromebook provides an opportunity for teachers to incorporate more online materials. But again, I think that for some students it's been a bit of a transition just away from the more traditional, having a binder full of all of your materials and stuff. I know that I've spent time in my classes just sort of teaching students, especially with my freshman courses, just sort of teaching them how to stay organized with Google Drive. I've started doing things a little bit more, self-paced, where rather than me being up in front delivering the same content to all 30-some of my students at the same pace, regardless of where they're at in terms of their understanding, I've been able to create materials and post them on Canvas and allow students to kind of work through those at the pace that they feel comfortable with. And that frees me up to be able to work with students on a more individualized basis, because some students, they can get through it more quickly, and other students need a little bit more help. And so that's probably the biggest thing that I've found with the Chromebooks and with the introduction of Canvas, that students can work at their pace and I can be more available to help them.
Do you like Chromebooks or not?
Yeah, I like them.